It's Kina Knisley with Real Talk about real estate, and I'm with Chasity Rosales. I should have asked how to pronounce your name. Did I get it right?
Chastity.
Chastity.
Yeah, one T. Most people say chastity with the two T's because that's most common, but it's just chastity.
Oh, just Chastity. Okay, and you are in El Paso, Texas, correct?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
which is a big military place, but you work with regular buyers too, so you don't have to be a VA buyer. But I just know you are heavy in military because you are the PCS team in El Paso. So tell us about everything about El Paso. Tell us about yourself. How did you get started?
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me. We are, like you said, El Paso, Texas, home to Fort Bliss. We're the second largest Army installation, and we also have an Air Force unit here now, so we get them pretty commonly trickling in. We are a desert town. We're a border town. And the beautiful thing about that is we have such beautiful culture and such beautiful food. Now, that scares some people when they hear border town and people perpetrate different stories that they just regurgitate, but that's not true about our town. It's a beautiful town and people tend to love it here. If you're very active and you like beachy stuff, well, we're a desert town, right? We have beautiful mountains that surround us, so it's a mountainscape, lots of hiking, lots of outdoor things to do for nature. But we have the most amazing food in El Paso, and Fort Bliss is a premier installation, meaning that we are one of five that has the outdoor mall. Our PX is
Oh,
our PX is amazing, and we have things like Buffalo Wild Wings there, Chili's there, Texas Roadhouse there, Under Armour, some cigar shops. We have a Dollar Tree in our PX.
we don't have Dollar
Yeah,
Tree because here in Hawaii,
yeah.
after they ship it here, it'd be $5 tree.
Oh yeah, I bet. So those are, I mean, just some amazing things. And I always also dote on the Fort Bliss MWR program because we have one of the best MWR programs. They have amazing activities all the time for families, keeping them engaged. And so they get involved and love their atmosphere here. And then, of course, our downtown has amazing stuff. So if you come here and you say, I hate Fort Bliss, I hate El Paso, it's because you didn't even try.
Yeah, it sounds like you have a lot. I love the hiking. So what are the temperatures like? I'm kind of a fair weather hiker.
Well, we're desert, so we get hot. We can get up to 110 degrees. So if you hike in the summer, they go early, like 6 in the morning and done by 8 because of that. But we are also called the Sunshine City or the Sunny City because we have like 335 days of sun. It
Oh,
rarely rains here. So most people come here for the weather. Like if we get retirees, it's for the weather. They like the drier climate. It's better for their bones. Or other ailments that they explain they have. So it's interesting to hear. But the most loved part is the weather. I mean, it does get hot in the summer, but we have zero humidity. So it's not like, a beach town where it's hot and humid like San Antonio or Houston or Dallas. We are not like that humidity here, which is amazing. Not
wow.
so much for the lady's skin because we need that good moisture for to keep us young, but we just love it. The sun shines most of the time, so you get plenty of vitamin D here. Happy all the time.
Oh, wow. So if we want to purchase a home there, what kind of price point are we looking at?
We you can still get a house for $220,000 in El
Oh
Paso.
my goodness. So what if I
Yeah.
want to invest? How's the rental market compared to that? Can I get the rent to cover the payment?
With today's interest rate, that would be tough. That is the downfall. So we'd have to refinance. I
Yeah.
think everybody's in that boat right now, but we do what you don't see online or hear most people tell you about El Paso is we do have higher property tax than most other cities that people PCS from because we don't pay state income tax in Texas. So the citizens carry our city through property tax of their primary residence. Now we do get homestead exemption and you save on that. And of course, Texas is very friendly. It's probably the number one state that's friendliest to veterans. If you're 100% disabled, you don't pay any property tax here. So that is a win. But if you have to pay that, It would be hard to keep it as a rental, and we're pro investment. We teach military families how to use their VA loan to invest in real estate, to build wealth through real estate. So if that is their goal, then we're having that conversation with them up front so we can help them house hack that on the back end. And that's just watching interest rates so they can refinance um, to be able to accomplish that, or find something that's undervalued that if they're handy and they could put a little bit of work in, that that would be beneficial for them to close that gap.
Yeah, that sounds like a great option. So what other fun things are there to do? You talked about food. Do you have like a favorite restaurant? Because oh man, I love me some food in Texas.
Yeah. We have all our favorite things. If you go to www.pcselpaso.com and you go to the buyer drop down link, there's going to be a Welcome to El Paso guide. And we have all our favorite restaurants, our hairdressers, our nail shops, everything military family needs about on post and the zip code map and around the city. So it's a wealth of information. I am an eclectic eater, so there's not really one that I say I gotta have today. I might have a different one every day because I'm like, you know what, I'm feeling like this today or feeling like that. But we do have amazing steakhouses because we are Texas. And so those are hard to beat around here.
Yeah. So now talking about, steak and ranchers, can someone come in and buy large amounts of land? I know some people don't like their neighbors right next door, like mine.
Yeah, and yeah, not too much in El Paso. There's a couple places in the upper or lower valley or way off of Montana that's east that they could get more land. If you're retiring here or it's a long-term place, that might be an option. But if you're military and you're only here a little bit, it would be harder for them, as an investment or something to keep when they left. So we try to guide them back to, the more residential areas, but to give them a sense of El Paso and how Fort Bliss is. Think of Fort Bliss in the middle, and all our major subdivisions horseshoe around El Paso. We're a 30-minute drive anywhere in the city. We have almost 1 million people here. However, you can get anywhere in 30 minutes. It's because of all the points that connect, right? Because you have Mexico, New Mexico, and Texas. At one place at one of the rooftop bars downtown, you could stand there, you can see Mexico, New Mexico, and Texas at that point. And so that's why the population is more vast and in the surrounding remote areas. But we're the smallest big city you'll ever have because we do have a little metro city downtown and lots of things happening. But people, when they call, we just explain that to them. So that's where everybody lives, in that horseshoe. And of course, most military families live in the northeast, east, or horizon. And so your price point is going to dictate largely the neighborhood you live in.
So yeah, where do you cap out at? Do you have luxury homes and what are those looking like? Because I know
Luxury
trying to get
here.
into luxury, we have a very
Yeah.
high luxury price
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, our $250,000 house is probably your $650,000
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
Yeah, it trips
Condo.
people out when they come from those type of places and they're like, "Really, I can get this for 250?" Yeah, it is real. Our average price point though is like 280 to 320 is what most people are spending here. When I started real estate here in 2014, you could buy a brand new house for $150,000, brand new. And if I'd have known what I know now and had somebody like me teaching me these investment principles, I would have bought 10 of those homes, I tell you. So I'm always pushing our military families to think that way, or anybody, not just military, any buyer that comes our way, because if you don't know to do better, you can't do better. And we know, if you think about all the people, all the billionaires in the world, what do they all have in common?
They own
Use
real
real
estate.
estate. They own real estate. So we are real passionate about that, especially for military families, because I always say, who better to own a piece of America than those people fighting for it?
Serve, yeah. So now
Yep.
are you struggling getting them to understand to buy versus rent or at that price point? And I struggle with that all day. I have to show them this is how much your BAH goes out. You got 150,000, 200,000 going out in BAH over that 3 years that you're here, which is, $200,000 towards equity in your own home. Are you having that battle there? Is it easier at
It,
your price point?
we're careful not to push it. We do three things that are important to us: education, communication, and customer service. Nobody here beats us on that. And we are the #1 military relocation team in El Paso, the PCS team. So we do a lot of that. We average about 200 homes a year that we sell, and most of that's military. So our first goal is to educate them, but we have to understand their unique situation first, because not everybody can buy.
Yeah.
And you're not going to push that if they can't, but it doesn't mean we're not going to educate them to plant a seed that in the future, when they are ready to do that, or how they get ready for that. So we do that often. But the ones that can, it's not really hard. And I'll give you an example. I just had a conversation with a young lady coming back to Bliss. This sucks for her so bad. She PCS'd a year ago. We sold her house, and she just got orders to come back. And she was like, "Oh, I wish I had kept my house." But now prices are different, right? What she was paying for her house, she will
Rates are
not get
different.
here. Yeah. And so we were talking about that. And she was like, "Oh my God, I'm only going to be there 3 years." She wants a $1,800 payment. She was like, "I probably just rent because I don't want to pay more." And so we did the math on that. If you do 18 times 12 times 3, I think it came out to $64,000. So is $64,000 worth it to buy? Well, we have to do the math to understand if it is worth it to them, because while that sounds good, it may not be.
Yeah.
But she did make a good amount on the house that she sold. So we talked about doing an assumption. If you're a military family out there, just know that you can assume another military family's loan. And a lot of people have a 2.5 interest rate, which would be amazing. Now, you know, Kina, the caveat to that is they can only assume what people owe, so you have to have the money for the gap. Well, we have military families doing that every day. In fact, I just had one pay $100,000 gap to get that 2.3 interest rate from the family we had. So I explained that to her, because we could find one that had a small gap, right? And I said, "Take the money you made from your house. Let's assume a loan at 2.5%. And she was like, "No, I don't want to empty my savings account to do that." And I was like, "Well, here's a thought. You're just moving it from one savings account to the next, right? Because you're going to get that back when you sell. You're just putting the savings in your escrow account." So it's just helping them think differently and being an advocate and a consultant with them to make sure that they have the education they need to make a good decision for themselves and their family.
Yeah. So no assumptions. We're not doing quite as many here. I've had a $430,000 gap, and I've got one open right now. It's $80,000 gap
That's
because our
crazy.
appreciation is so quick.
Yes. Yes.
But my daughter just assumed one with a $20,000 gap in Colorado Springs. So they are out there.
Yes.
You can find these. And then at that interest rate, you do have a chance that you can keep it and rent it out.
Yes.
Interest rate. No, I love that you're doing assumptions. So is there anything else you want to share about El Paso? I was actually one of those that always thought El Paso was not where you really wanted to go, but now I want to
Yeah.
go.
Yes. It's beautiful here. And when you see on Facebook when I post the pictures
Oh,
of the
yeah.
mountains in our backyard. But what people don't know is El Paso is consistently one of the top 5 safest cities in the United States.
Oh, wow. So see, I didn't know. I'm learning so much
Mhm.
doing these interviews.
Yeah. So, I've lived here since 2004. So I can't believe I've already been here over 20 years. And of course, the accent is not El Paso. I grew up in South Carolina, but I've been here 20 years and I love it. And my husband, he says, retirement will become soon. And I know when one of our kids have a grandbaby, that is going to be a game changer for where we are. And every time he brings it up, I get a little bit of a heartburn, because I do love El Paso. I do love that we have all the things we need that a bigger city has, yet we're small. It's not like I couldn't imagine working in Dallas or Houston or San Antonio. I hear my friends that sell real estate there, how far they drive, how many subdivisions, how much stuff is going on there that they have to sift through to sell. We don't have that here because we're literally one big circle. We start I-10. I-10 connects to 375. 375 connects to 54 that runs through the city, and that's it.
Wow.
That's it. You just take one big circle around the city, and that's it. So I would say just don't listen to people online.
Yeah, I definitely need to come visit you now.
Yes, you
So,
do. It's not as beautiful as that backdrop you have, but it's
yeah,
the mountains and it's different, right? It's just different.
yeah.
We do have some beautiful bodies of water around us, like Elephant Butte. It's a man-made lake, and some days it looks like that picture behind you. And it's just a 2-hour drive. And we have so many other things like day trips you can take in New Mexico. They do go to Mexico across there. I mean, we can go there. The spouses go. There's this thing called the Pink Store over there, and it's just right across the border. And they have all kind of cool things for Mexico you can buy, and they greet you with a margarita when you walk in.
Well, we're going.
Yeah. So who wouldn't want to go there? I mean, we have great margaritas here in El Paso. So keep
Yeah,
an
I'm kind of
open
a
mind.
margarita
Just
fan.
keep
I'm a
an open
closet
mind if you get
margarita
Fort Bliss.
fan.
Yeah.
But
You
no.
you will love it. You will love Fort Bliss. It is we've been to many, and we're a military family too. We've been to excuse me, military installations, and Fort Bliss is truly one of my favorite for the things it has to offer for families and soldiers.
Yeah, well, it sounds great. Well, thank you so much. So if you know anybody that is going to PCS or they want to retire in El Paso or just move there because it sounds so great, let me know. I can get you guys connected. So this has been Kina Knisley with Real Talk About Real Estate. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing about your great city today. It's been amazing.
You too. I appreciate you so much, and we look forward to serving y'all in El Paso.
I'm so excited to send my referrals there.